Okay, so if you want to create a material, so definitely a material type is an important field. You need to give the what is your material type. Okay, so there are standard material types like your finished good, raw material, food products. All we have a different type of material types. So each and every material type we will SAP had given this number. If it is a finished product, FART is the like we will so we will name it your finished product as a FERT. Okay, if it is a raw material, it is ROH. Like that. For each and every material, it is a 4-digit only. Whether you can give a alphanumeric as a 4-digit number, 4 or 5. Okay, if you want to create your own material type also, you can create your own material type. So by copying the standard one, you can create a own material type. So material type means materials which are having the same properties or same attributes which are grouped together as a one material type. Okay, I will tell you some of the standard material types we have. So like we have the HAW, that means trading goods. Trading goods in the sense, so you are not going to manufacture these products, so directly you will purchase from the supplier and then you will sell to your customer. There is no manufacturing if there is no manufacturing unit in your company, then you will call that goods as a trading goods. Okay, like that we have a service also. If that is not a material you want to procure, so you want to procure a service, then the material type will be the DIEN for your service materials, or if, sometimes it can be a service. Okay, service master. Okay, DIN for your invisible products or for your service master. So like that we have a different material types. We have FERT for finished goods, raw material. Okay. If it is ERSA, that is spare parts. So like this we have a different types of material. Okay. So, but these material type will control many of the factors in your material. So, while creating a material master, these material type will control your number range. So, your field selection, like how your screen appearance will be there. Everything will be controlled by your material type. Okay. So, today we'll discuss about what are the controls of our material type. So if you want to go for your material type, if you want to create a new material type, so it is a configuration only, that creation part, or if you want to change anything of your control, you can change in the configuration part only. Okay, so let's go to the SPRO. So in the IMG, go for a logistics general. Okay, in the logistics general, go for material master. Go for the basic settings. Okay, so logistics general, go for material master and then basic settings. In the basic settings, you can see this is your material types. Okay, so this is your attributes of material type. If you want to create a number range, then you can go to the number range for each material type. So yesterday we had discussed about number range, right? So we had discussed about how to create a number range for an info record. So first we will create a group and then we will assign that group to a document type. So in the same way, here also we will create a group and then we will assign that group to the material type. So based on the material type, a number range will trigger. Okay, if it is a finished goods, you maintain your interval as a 1000 to 2000. Then whenever you are creating a material with this material type, a material number range will come from the 1000 to 2000 only. Okay, like 1001, 1002, like that it will create automatically, the number range will create. So based on your material type, the number range interval will be there. So even though whether it is internal or external number range also, you can specify. If you want internal number range, so system will generate the number. If it is external number range, so you need to give it manually, you need to give it. Okay. So if you want to name your material as a wood, or you want alphanumeric one, so you want to name your material as bat, for example. Okay, in that case, you will maintain your interval as a to ZZ. Okay, so you will not maintain any numbering, just you will maintain as a to ZZ you will maintain, so that whatever was given, system will automatically take that. Okay, whether it is, if it is a chemical, if it is ethanol, or okay, anything, the system will take it if you maintain as a to ZZ interval. Okay. We'll discuss about what are the controls of material type, and then we'll move to the how to create number ranges. Already we know how to create number ranges, but again we will see how to create a number ranges. So go to the attributes of material type. If you do not remember the path, there is a direct transaction code also, that is OMS2. OMS2 is a transaction code. The transaction code is OMS2, or your path you will go to the logistics general, material master, and then basic setting, material types. Okay. So we'll see what are the controls of our material types. So this is your material type. If you want to create a new material type also, we can create a new material type here. So by copying the standard one, you can create. Okay, so better to copy. System also suggest if you're clicking on the new entries, then system will automatically say copy an existing material type. So if you copy the standard material type, automatically the controls will also copy. So you can change according to that, you can change. For example, all these are standard material type, DAEN. Okay, like FERT, all these are standard material types. So I want to create a new one. So select your standard material type and click on copy as. Okay, so now you can maintain your own material name, say DRS. So better if you are creating anything, better to name it with a Z only. Because why? Because we have to know, right? So in the real time when you're working, if you're creating anything, whether it is a output type or whether it is a material type, so always we will create with a Z only. Okay, always a custom material type or custom output type always created with a Z only, because we need to identify whether what is the standard and what is the customized one, right? So always SAP also will suggest you to create with a Z only. But even though you give it as a naming convention is different, even though system will take it, but if you are creating, better to create with a Z. Okay, so I created as a ZDRS. Okay, and then we will save that one. So here it is enterprise structure configuration. If you want to create new one, you can create your own transport request here as a material type. In the real time, you will give your project also. So the project you will assign, as it is a dummy server, you will not give any projects are there. Otherwise, you will have the project name also. Okay, like this you will create and then select here, go to the details. Okay, the spare part. So this is your spare parts. If you want to change your description also, you can change. Okay, custom is not a standard one. So custom is nothing but the whatever you created. Okay, not the SAP standard one. So that is why I maintain as custom. Okay, so these are the controls of our material type. So we'll discuss what are the controls of our material type. So all these are each and everything is a one impact in our material. So while creating your material, so all these fields will get impacted in your material master. Okay, so while you're creating a material here, so each and everything will get impact. While you're selecting your material type as a ZDRSA. So you created as a ZDRS here, right? So we created material type as a ZDRS. So when you're creating a material with this material type, so whatever the changes we are doing here, that changes will be triggered in your material master. Okay. So we will see what are the controls one by one. So the first one is your field reference and a screen reference. So screen reference and field reference, again in the material master configuration we will see how to create your field reference and screen reference. Okay, so but remember your field reference is nothing but, so when you go to the material master, so if this is your material master, the entire one we call it as a screen. So each basic data one is called as a screen. Okay, the basic data is one screen, basic data one is another screen. So the screen consists of a subscreens. So the general data is one subscreen here. Here the dimensions is a one subscreen. Okay, the screen consists of a subscreens and subscreen consists of a fields. So these each old material number, base unit of measure, everything is a field. Okay, so this entire one we call it as a screen. The screen consists of a subscreen. So this the general data is a one subscreen. So this is one subscreen. So the subscreen consists of your fields, right? So screen reference is nothing but, for example, if you do not want for this particular material type, you do not want this screen, you do not want the sales views, you do not want your this sales org one sales org two, you do not require. So based on the material type, you can manipulate your screens. Okay, so if you do not require, you can manipulate your screens also with the help of a screen reference. So we will see in the material master configuration, we will discuss this one, screen reference, right? Okay, so we will assign our screen reference and field reference to our material type. Okay. So you can manipulate. So according to your, for example, your client having one custom material type. So they do not want a sales views further. They want only the basic data, a general data and a purchasing data only. They want only the purchasing view and your basic data only. Okay, then you can delete your sales views. Okay, you can manipulate your views. And not only that, you can change your order and only if you want to trigger. Okay, for the particular material type only you want to trigger these different screens. If they want custom screens also, sometimes these are the standard SAP screens, basic data, sales, purchasing, all these are SAP standard screens. But if you work on different projects, then you will come to know different custom screens also. So where a ABAP technical person will create a screen and then you will assign that screen to the particular material type. So where we will see that in the configuration part. So we can create a custom screens also, where in the custom screens, custom fields will be there. Okay. So some clients want some new screens. So they will have a different brands. So like that they need a different flavors or brands also some of the fields. In that case, we'll create a one custom screen. So in that custom screen, we'll put our what is the flavor, what is the brand of your material, everything like that. Some custom fields we are going to place. Okay, that custom screen we will not create. So a ABAP technical person will create because it needs a logic, it needs programming for that. So they will create that one. So after creation of that, they will assign to the secondary screen. We call it as a secondary screen. So they will do the assignment. Okay. So that is about your screen reference. Like that we have a field reference also. So you can manipulate your fields in your material master also. For example, this is the basic data one. So you do not require this field. So you want to manipulate your field reference. So you can manipulate your field reference. Or else you want to delete this old material number. You want to hide this old material number field because your client does not need this old material number. Okay, if anything is not required, you can hide the field or you can make it as a optional. So if any field you need to compulsory, you need to maintain this field. So this old material number, you need to maintain it mandatorily. Then you can make it as a required one. Okay, that we call it as a field reference. So you can assign. So after creation of your field reference and screen reference, you can assign in your material type. So these two things we will see in the material master configuration also. Okay. So that is your one of the control, both screen appearance and field reference material type can control. Okay, both the screen and a field reference and material type can control it. And next one is our cross-plant material status. So cross-plant material status is if you want your materials to block, for example, there are old materials are there, so you do not want to use that materials. Okay, for this material type, there are some materials are there. So all that materials you do not want to use. You do not want to buy that materials again. So that you can block for a procurement here. Okay, so if you block for procurement, so you cannot use these materials for the belong to the specific material type. So when you are creating a purchase order, when you are creating a purchase order for this material, so system will give the message that so it is blocked for a procurement. System will give the error message that it is blocked for a procurement. You no longer procure this material. Okay. So that is how you can block your materials. If you want, if you do not want to pay, if you want to block for costing only for price, only for price if you want to block, so you can block for costing. So like that you can block for a procurement, you can block for a release, you can make it as a absolute. Absolute is nothing but a outdated. If it is outdated material, you can select a as a absolute. Okay. So then system will get a warning message. So this material is a old material. This material is a outdated material. If you want to block for any procurement or for purchasing, you can block here. So for entire plant, not only for a specific plant or not only for a specific org unit, so for entire material type materials will block for all the plants. Okay, for all the plants, for all the purchasing organization, these material type materials will be blocked. Okay, this is about your material status. So in the configuration, we will see how to create a material status also. So there are some standard material status are there, like 01, 02 are there. But if you want to create and if you want to create a new material status also, we can create. So where you want to block, whether it is in purchasing or inventory or in accounting, in MRP, like there are different units, right? So in the manufacturing part, there are different units, or for you want to block for purchasing, or you can maintain your material status. If you want, you can create a new material status also. So this is one of the control, right? So the cross-plant material status. So here no argument is going to stop it. So for each and every plant, it's going to block. If you're blocking it, so for each and every plant, it will block. Okay, that is why it is a cross-plant material status. So for the entire material type, for the entire materials, it will block. Okay, so that is one of the controls. So first one is your screen and field reference. The next one is your cross-plant material status, where you can block for purchasing, where you can block for your costing. Okay, and next one use your number range. So already we know the number range is dependent on your material type, whether it is external or internal also. So we are responsible. So the number range is always dependent on your material type. Okay. So if you want external number range for the specific material type, then you can check your external number assignment without check. Okay. So if you want external number range only for this material type, so you do not want an internal number range. Okay. So then you can check this external number assignment. Okay, but if you do not want external number range, then you can uncheck. But if you want external number assignment without check, you can use the external number range here. Okay, and not only this, in the number ranges of your material type also, we will assign our group to our particular material type only. Okay, that's how there is a link between your material type and a number range. So number range is also one of the control. So the next one is your user departments. User departments are nothing but your screens only. Your basic data 1, basic data 2. Sometimes we call it as a view. In the material master, we call it as a view. In the material type, we call them as a user departments. Some coming to the material master configuration, we call it as a screen. So there are different names for your screen and for your views. Okay, so you call it as a view, user department, or a screen also. Okay, so here we are naming it as a user department. So for example, for this particular material type, you do not require the classification view. You want only the accounting, purchasing. You do not want this MRP view. You want the basic data, storage, quality. So you can select these views here. So whenever you are creating a material with the particular material type, only that views will trigger. So if I am saving this, okay, I am saving this. I want to create a material. Okay, so here if you observe, you will not get a. So here whatever you got selected in the user departments, so that views only it will trigger in your material master. So basic data you selected. Okay, storage you selected. So that is why you're getting the general plan data storage. So quality management, warehouse management you selected. That is why you're getting a quality management, warehouse management use. Okay. So you selected accounting, purchasing. So you got purchasing, accounting views. So whatever you are selecting, so you selected the plant stock and storage location stocks. Okay. So that is why you're getting a. Okay. So whatever you are selecting based on that, automatically it will trigger based on your user departments. Automatically the views will trigger. Okay. So based on your material type only, the material views is going to trigger. So if you want specific material, specific views, then you can select here. Then you can select in your user departments. So user departments is also a controls for your material type, right? Okay. And next one is also field reference, screen reference, and the cross-plan material status is also control, number range, and your user departments. So the next one, so this is your internal or external purchase orders. So there are two types of procurement. One is internal procurement and one is external procurement. So internal procurement means just you will purchase from your own plants only. If you have two plants, so one plant in one location, one plant in Hyderabad and other plant in Mumbai, then your Hyderabad plant has no stock. Your Mumbai plant has a stock in it. Okay, then you can purchase your material from your own plant only. Okay, so that we call it as an internal procurement. So there is no need of money things here because it is not a external procurement. Okay, so just an internal procurement. But in that case also sometimes we'll create a purchase orders. Okay, we call it as a stock transport orders, but the financial things will not matter in the intra company process. We call it as intra company. So later we'll discuss that or transfer between a plant to plant. Okay. So in that we call it as an internal procurement. So if you are purchasing from your own plant or from your own location, we call it as just an internal procurement only. If you are purchasing from external supplier, from external vendor, if you are purchasing, then we call it as an external procurement. In that case, you will create a external purchase order, external PO, or you will call it as an internal purchase order. You will create an internal purchase order. Okay. So here your vendor is your receiving supplying plant only. So here Hyderabad plant is a receiving plant. So they want material. Your Mumbai plant is your supplying plant, right? So because it is supplying your material. Okay. There is no vendor concept in the internal purchase orders because there is no vendor. Only the receiving, only the supplying plant is your vendor. Okay, that we call it as an internal purchase order. But in the external procurement, you need to mention who is your supplier and your supplier details you need to mention. So that is your external purchase order. So for this, for your material type, if you require both external and internal procurement, you can mention here. For example, if you want both internal and external purchase orders, then you can mention that. So external purchase orders are allowed. Okay, if you want internal procurement also, then you can allow your internal purchase orders also. If you do not want, so you will select a 0. Or if you want internal procurement, but a warning message will trigger. Okay, so in that case, you will select the 1. If you want internal procurement, then you will select it 2. So like this, you will choose whether you require a internal procurement or a external procurement. So based on the material type, the procurement type will also, it is also one of the control. Okay, so the procurement type is also dependent on your material type. So the next one is your so the next one is in your valuation. So the price control. Valuation, or you call it as a price control. So coming to the price control, there are two prices here. So I will tell you. Coming to the prices, we have two types of price. One is a standard price. So standard price in the sense, so it will not change. Okay. Will not change. For example, your material price today is 100 rupees. So tomorrow also it is 100. So maybe after 10 days, after 20 days also it is 100. Okay, it is 100 rupees only. Okay, like this you will have your own. Like this you will have your. Okay, that so it will the price will be standard price. So it will not change day to day. It will not change. So maybe after 2 or 3 months it's going to change. So when we discuss about MMFI integration, then you will understand what is the difference between a standard price and a moving average price. Okay. So standard price means it normally it never changes. It mostly it will be the constant price. So moving average price means so some materials will be there, they will change day by day. So day by day it's going to change. So today it is 4,000 means tomorrow it will be the 4,020 rupees. So every day maybe the price will decrease or increase. Okay, in that cases then you will select your price control indicator as a moving average price. Okay. Yeah, so that is these are the two types of prices. One is a standard price or a moving average price. For example, in the material you maintain your price as so moving average price means so for example you in the material master you maintain your price as 100 rupees. So while you creating an order, so while you are placing an order, the price changed to 120 rupees. Okay, so the price was changed to 20 rupees, got increased. So in that case, moving average price automatically changed to a 120 rupees. Okay, so when you're creating a purchase order, whatever the price is there, automatically it will update in your material master. So that is your moving average price. But if it is a standard price, it will not change. So the 100 will be the constant. Whether it is increasing or decreasing through order also, the material price will not change. The material price is just constant 100 rupees only in your system. Okay, maybe whatever the difference is there, the difference will go to the separate accounts. Okay. So if it is a moving average price, automatically it will update. When you're creating a purchase order with 120 rupees, that 120 rupees automatically updated in your material master. Okay, that is the difference. So whenever there is a change in the purchase order, in the material master also automatically it will change. But standard price is not like that. It will not change. Okay, it is constant only. If there are any changes for your material price and while creating your order, so there is a separate account will be there. For that account, the price is going to stay store. The difference, the 20 rupees will be stored in a difference account, PRD account. Okay, so while creating purchase order, we will discuss that again. So these are the two types of price controls. Okay. 1 minute. I think it was So if you go directly, you can go for a OMS2. So without going to path, if you remember the transaction code, you can go for your. Okay. So like this, you can give your price control. Whether it is you want moving average price, then you can select. So like that, we have account category reference also. So we will discuss about this account category reference in a MMFI integration. So these valuation is always linked with your FI integration. Okay. So always it is related to your FI module. FI means a financial accounting module. So it was important. So while you are dealing with the price, that module will come. Okay, so that is the integration part between your MM and FI. Okay, so this is the one of the control, price control. Okay, and the last one is your quantity and a value update. The quantity or a value update. So if you created a new value scenario or a new plant, okay, for example, my plant we created as a ALMI, right? So this is my new plant. So I want to update my quantity update and a value update. So for other material types also, if you want to change, you can change. So by going to the other material types. So select your valuation area is nothing but a plant. Okay. So valuation area means where your stocks are calculating. Like for example, your plant in Hyderabad, your other plant is in Mumbai. Then in this Hyderabad plant, your material price is 100 rupees. But in Mumbai, your material price is 130 rupees. So based on your valuation area, the price will also change. Okay, if your valuation area is a plant, so based on the plant, the price is going to change. But if you maintain your valuation area as a company code level, then even for Hyderabad or Mumbai also, the price of the material is constant in Hyderabad and Mumbai also. Okay, so that is in the most cases we will maintain our valuation area as a plant only. Okay, where the stocks are calculating, where the price is going to get changed based on your valuation area. So while you're creating a new plant or new material type, you need to update your quantity update and a value update. So I will tell you what is the use of this quantity update and a value update. So I think yesterday we had discussed about this quantity and value update, right? So whenever there is a change in quantity, a material document is going to update. For example, if you are purchasing a 50 kg of material, okay, so the cost is 100 rupees. So you purchased this one, so you will get the material. So actually the stock of your material is, so my material is wood. So my stock is I have only the 10 stock only. So I bought 50 kgs. So now my stock is 60, right? So because 50 added, because I purchased 50, so 50 got added into my stock. So 50 was added. So coming to my price, the 100 rupees was minus for me because I need to pay for the vendor. Okay. So quantity was changed and price also get changed, right? So there is a change in the quantity and there is a change in the price. If I am purchasing a 50 kg of material, for example, if I am selling, okay. So this is just a purchasing. If you are purchasing, then a quantity will increase, a price is going to decrease. So if you are selling your material, so what happens if you are selling 50 quantity means, so a 50 quantity will minus from your company. Okay, it will go to the customer because you are selling your quantity. A quantity will decrease, but a price will get increased because customer will pay to you. Customer will give the 100 rupees for you. Okay, so whenever there is a change in your, whenever there is a movement, whenever there is a stock adding or stock reduction, so definitely there is a change in your quantity and a price, right? Okay, so system will capture these movements. So whenever there is a change in your quantity and price, so system will capture the quantity. Okay, so automatically a material document will generate. Okay, so if there is a change in the quantity, a material document will generate. If there is a change in the price, accounting document is going to generate. Okay, so if you are not checking these checkboxes, quantity update and value update, so material will not record your changes. Material will not record the quantity and price movements. Okay, Okay, it will not be responsible for that. If you are not giving a value update, so system will ask you the GL account, so some accounts to store your price. If you are not maintaining this value update, then system will ask you the account assignment category or your GL accounts. So there are separate accounts will be there. So system will ask the GL accounts. Okay. So that is why you need to update your quantity and a value update. So otherwise system will not get created. So accounting document, a material document will not get created. Okay. So that is your quantity and value update. So it is very important. Then any other control, it is important. So system has to capture your quantity and price movements, right? So that is what the significance of SAP, because it will capture each and every quantity, like whether it is reduction of quantity or add on. So everything is capturing, right? So you need to capture each and every proof. So all these accounting document, material document are a proof for your changes in quantity and a price. So that is why you need to update a quantity and value checkboxes in your valuation area and for a material type. So these are the controls. These are the 7 controls of your material type. Remember this one, in the entries also they will ask you what are the controls of material type. Then you can say number range is one of the control, procurement type. So and your valuation, your price control, quantity and value update. Okay, all these are controls of your material type. So based on the material type, all these will maybe we can change all these fields. We can change all these factors. Okay, so that is the importance of a material type in a material master. That is why while creating a material master, a material type is a mandatory. Otherwise, you cannot create a material. Okay. So, any doubts in the class?
Sudha ma'am, what was the item category reference?
Sorry, account category reference.
No, item category reference.
There is item category is there. Item category reference not. Item
Uh,
category is there.
yes, item category.
Yeah, item category, when we create an order, if there is any special procurement order, for example, if it is a STO process, you will name it as a U, or if it is a
Oh yes.
subcontracting process.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so when there is not a standard procurement, if you are using a special procurement process, then item category identifies whether it is a special procurement.
Okay.
Okay, so if it is a stock transfer between your two plants, then you will name your item category as a U. So like that, if your item category is K, okay.
So do
So
we
like
have
that, if
to
your
provide the
subcontract.
key here in item category?
Sorry?
So do we have to provide in the material type itself the item
No,
category,
no. So
or
item
just in the
category
purchase
is
order?
something different. So we will use this only in a purchase orders. If it is a
Okay.
special procurement only, we will use this item category.
Okay.
Okay, there is no need with the material type.
Okay.
Okay. So when we are going to the purchase requisition and purchase order, we will discuss this one also. Okay. What is item category? What is the significance of it? Okay. Mostly for a special procurement process, we will use it. If it is a different purchase order, if it is a subcontracting or consignment orders, then you will use that. For K is for consignment, L for subcontracting, like that. So that's it about the material type controls.